not be a retirement plan for some woman who just wanted to turn up all their teenage years, all their 20 years. A woman who turned up all her early stages of life does not deserve a man. Bro, put your energy into something else. You get what I'm saying? Start a new business or
The
something.
marriage laws are not in our until marriage laws change. There's no incentive for men to get married.
My husband is going to help me out to pay the $27,000 that I owe to EBT to help a person that in the 12 years we were together, I never cooked, never cleaned for him, never did his laundry, never did any of that.
I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood.
Modern relationships are changing fast, and millions of men and women are waking up to uncomfortable truths about money, marriage, emotional labor, and dependency. Some men say they refuse to become retirement plans for women who ignored them in their younger years, while many women argue they no longer need men financially and instead demand emotional partnership and equality. From divorce fears and financial independence to burnout inside marriages, these viral TikToks expose the growing tension between modern men and women in ways the mainstream rarely talks about. The question is no longer who needs who. It's whether modern relationships can survive when both sides feel unappreciated, overworked, or replaceable.
Here's why you should never get married. In 2023, guys, unfortunately for us men, the marriage laws are not in our favor. Look at famous celebrities like Tyrese, Dr. Dre, Jeff Bezos, guys who have made it with plenty of money and suffered greatly through a divorce. Guys, 50% of my money I cannot afford to give away through a divorce. I refuse to give away through a divorce. And I think until marriage laws change, there's no incentive for men to get married. And if a woman truly loves you, she doesn't need you to marry her through the state. You can take care of her, provide for her, but if there's a greater risk for you to do this, then you should not do it. So as a man, 2023, until the marriage laws change, don't you dare sign them papers and marry a woman.
Women not being able to realize that they are doing better than men because of DEI hiring practices that have literally intentionally shut out men from high-paying roles in corporate America equals too common.
I have been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands-on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my 4th baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do. Right? Every woman has heard this. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And I said, okay, something that would make my life easier is if in the mornings when I came downstairs with the 4 kids, because I do mornings by myself, the dishwasher was emptied, the dishes were put away, and the trash was taken out. That would make my life so much easier because when I've got the 4 kids running around and the baby crying, I can't be looking for their favorite water bottle in the dishwasher. I just need to know it's clean. And he said, yeah, of course. What? Yeah, I'll do that. That's no problem. And so, of course, he does it. But then I have to remind him, and then he forgets, and then I have to remind him again. And there was this one morning where I woke up, and I went to put something in the trash, and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle, and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me. Because what he's done has now made me late for work. And he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about the impact on me. And he doesn't see how every single thing in our home happens because I asked him to do it, or because I do it myself, or because I planned and organized it. The diaper bag is full because I filled it, right? I put the wipes in there. And I felt so frustrated. And I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of doing this with someone else? I might as well just do it alone. And it's not because my husband didn't love me or he did anything to me. And it's not because I didn't love him, but because I felt so taken advantage of in our relationship. And this dynamic, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It's not like my husband did it to me, but we've been raised in this society that tells men and women who they should be in marriages and what it looks like to be a good mom versus a good dad. And we know the bar for moms is way up here and the bar for dads is way down here. And we fell into these norms. We fell into these roles in our family, despite the fact that we never wanted to. And I'm lucky, and I say lucky because I have a partner who I know loves me and wants me to be happy and was willing and able to change. And so we did the work to figure out what equity looked like in our relationship. And I can tell you now, 3 years later, that we are happier than ever. Our kids are thriving. Our home runs like a well-oiled machine. And that took a lot of work. I want to say it took like 18 months to get there. And it was well worth it. But it is not uncommon. And so if your wife is coming to you and she's saying, I'm burnt out by the mental load and I need you to do more, she's not just saying that because she wants you to do more chores. She's saying that because truly it can hurt your relationship. It can ruin your marriage if you do not participate in an equitable way in your home. And so what does that look like? What does it look like to change these dynamics? Well, we need to really assess in our homes what the work looks like. Because in most homes, the data supports this, women do a disproportionate amount of the work. They just do. They do more of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare while also working full time. And men have more time for things like their hobbies, like golf, for example, or just working out, running a marathon, right? And so we need to have hard conversations about what our time looks like, what our labor in the home looks like, what is invisible labor. We have to talk about these things. And when we don't, the alternative is that you no longer have a marriage, or you don't have a happy one at least. And so I share this story because I don't think I'm alone in this experience, and I want people to know that there's hope and that if you have a willing and able partner, you can change this. You can absolutely change this dynamic.
These entitled people just want something for nothing. They want your labor, your money, your retirement, your debt relief, while offering nothing. People are weak and overprivileged with absolutely no clue what hard times really are. Fellas, life is hard enough without attaching yourself to a giant, emotionally draining leech.
If you are considering leaving your partner, or you think that your partner is about to leave you, listen to the words I'm about to say. Also, if you received this from somebody, you need to bookmark, save, take notes on everything I'm about to tell you. I am 5 years post-divorce and I'm remarried. I have a very good relationship with my husband. We have a new daughter together. We're a blended family. I have read over 50-something books on marriage, divorce, attachment theory, all the things, have spent literally tens of thousands of dollars in therapy. And I wish somebody would have sent me a video like this before my divorce. Sarah's comment, I made this decision and regret it 100%. My ex was a great man. I just thought I'd be happier alone after 20 years of marriage, but I was miserable and my daughter was miserable. Biggest mistake ever. First of all, Sarah, thank you for your authentic transparency. It is refreshing, but also extremely sad. I'm sorry that you've gone through that. And here's what I want to say. No matter the path you take, whether it's staying in the relationship or going through the divorce, both situations take work. Staying in a relationship takes work to have a healthy marriage. And when you decide or whatever to pull the trigger on divorce, you're going to have an entire set of new things to work on going through your divorce. And then multiply that by 10 if you have children. So if you're watching this and you think your partner is about to leave you, or you're considering leaving your partner, you have to choose your hard, because both are hard. And relationships forever are going to take work. You might think that this relationship is too much work for you and then you move on to somebody else, but surprise, you're going to have to work in that relationship too. So if you haven't even been to therapy with your partner, if you've not picked up a self-help book or listened to podcasts, I'm telling you, before you make the jump to divorce, especially with children, start with that. Start with doing some work, because when you go through a divorce, it is an entire, it takes work to leave somebody. It's not just you sign some papers. When kids are involved, it's not you just sign some papers and you move on. You then have to figure out how to co-parent with somebody that you believe is your enemy. You have to figure out how to pay all of your bills by yourself and be a solo parent. You're going to have to find a new community of friends because the old community that you were in no longer can relate to you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say before you divorce. I'm telling you, the dynamics change. You might have somebody who brings you to court every 6 months. We call them frequent filers. You're only going to see your kids half the time, most likely, which also means you're going to be sharing holidays. So you're going to spend some holidays probably alone without your children. You literally are going to miss out on half of your children's lives. Half. It is the most painful thing. There are no words. So I'm just saying you have to choose your hard here. Both are extremely hard. It's hard. Even in my new relationship with my husband, it takes work. He and I have gone to, marriage conferences and read so many books together, and we have set time aside every single morning to have coffee and connect with each other. We are constantly sending each other podcasts and books, and because he's gone through divorce, I've gone through divorce, we have agreed we are never going to go through that pain again. But we also, some of that pain that comes with divorce is watching your children suffer, and we don't ever want our kids to experience anything remotely close to that ever again. Now, I have to say, this does not apply to all situations. There are some situations with abuse and things like that where, yes, you need to leave. I am not talking to those situations. I'm talking to the people who they just don't get along, or they don't like their spouse or whatever, and they're like, man, I could probably be happier somewhere else. One of the comments that was on this video, he said something about how it was the best decision for him, but the worst decision for his kids. And man, I was like, yes, I resonate with that. Because I can find happiness and peace and joy and all of that, but the children, it's devastating. So choose your hard. My recommendation, and take it or leave it, is to at least try the hard first before you break your family on purpose. Try going to counseling, try the books, try all of that, and send this to somebody if you're thinking about leaving your partner, because what they're telling you is, let's do this hard before we have to do that hard.
One thing I have been constantly telling young men who want to date is to always vet your potential partner's finances. Not only do they make the most money and spend the most money, they also hold the most debt. Debt you'll be signing up for if you marry.
He is not a protector, he is not a provider if he is not protecting and providing for your financial stability in the future right now. My husband pays all of my credit card bills so that any money I earn goes into my retirement, my investments, and my savings. You need to have your own retirement account, your own savings account, your own investment accounts in your name that you are tracking, that you are adding money into on your own, because you want to be able to do this. You want to be financially literate and responsible and know how to do these things, because there could come a day where it's all on you because something happened to him. A man who truly loves you wants you protected in the future should something happen to him. He's not just going to be like, oh, don't worry about it. I paid for the roof over your head today. What about tomorrow? What about next month? What about next year? This is especially important if you're not working and if you have his children. If you have children with this man and he is not locking down your financial future, he is screwing you over. A responsible man who really loves you is going to want to protect you in the future. He's going to want to protect you should something ever happen to him.
I am going to love next decade to see women to suffering MD. They deserve all that. How they are treating men many decades already. Now it's over. Winter is coming.
Killing relationships these days. No one wants something serious, bro. Everybody's 50-50. That shit. I'm used to like a provider. Yeah, everybody's like 50-50 now. Okay. That shit, bro.
Crying over guys who weren't even paying bills? Ghetto! Crying over guys who weren't even doing anything for you? Tacky!
Roast all you want, but accept that men are done with your entitlements.
Women want men to be in provide mode. But when we criticize, which is a form of emasculation, a man will retract from provide into protect. And if it's a direct attack, like on your character, you're just like your father. Now he's protecting himself. And that's what brings out the worst in men, when they're protecting themselves, because it overrides their compelling desire to protect others. They're the smallest version of themselves, and they're protecting themselves. And they could shut down, right? They could withdraw, or they could attack. And women cause men to attack, and then we think that's who men are. Women cause men to withdraw, and we think, oh, you ghosted me, right? We have all these accusations after we've caused it.
This is probably the only woman on the planet that understands accountability. This is amazing.
Somebody have some? You got some, right?
Yeah, I just feel like as we're not in back in the days where men are providers.
Exactly.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Parents don't pick our spouse.
That's just not it.
Okay.
As far as like society nowadays,
Okay.
I feel like it should be equal.
You think so?
I do.
Okay.
Men should not be the only providers.
All right.
I disagree. Women should also bring something to the table.
Okay.
Because back then, yeah, men were providers, but women weren't allowed to have jobs.
Okay, well, here's
but
the
now
thing.
that we have jobs, I don't feel like men should be the only providers.
Okay, how you feel and what should or could or would is one thing, but we got to deal with reality, what is. The reality is that women are biologically hardwired to want men that make more money than them and have more status than them. So you can say, yo, it shouldn't be this way, but we're all human and attraction isn't a choice.
Men's indifference morphs into self-sufficiency and then relative success, appreciation, and happiness.
Bro to bro, bro to bro, bro to bro, do not be a retirement plan for some woman who just wanted to turn up all their teenage years, all their 20 years. You were working while she was partying. You were at the gym while she was you were trying to start a new business. Bro, please trust me. Leave these girls alone who all they have to offer is just recycled cat. You need to start doing background checks on these girls. A woman who turned up all her early stages of life does not deserve a man. Personally, I'm 18. So if you're my age, take it as a warning. Promise you, bro, put your energy into something else. You get what I'm saying? Start a new business or something. In fact, I will literally help you. I'll put you on what I do. Go to my IG, DM me the word ecom, E-C-O-M or something.
Women appreciate nothing, never make it to happiness. The collapse of society is being forced by people demanding that we are all as stupid as they are. Remember guys, if you don't have the consent on video or paper, pretty soon, legally you can be charged with rape and there will be nothing you can do or say to prove otherwise.
Everyone has been asking me if my husband is going to help me out to pay the $27,000 that I owe to EBT, and he straight up told me no. He has more than $27,000 in his business account, and he says he's not going to help me out. He says, why should he help a person that in the 12 years we were together, I never cooked, never cleaned for him, never did his laundry, never did any of that. And I told him, it's to death do us part. Like, how could you just let me rot in prison? And that's why I decided to flee the country. He said I deserve everything that's coming for me. So I packed my bag, as you guys saw in the video, and I'm just going to wait till nighttime so that I could, I'm going to take a bus somewhere. I'm not going to tell you guys where I'm going. So hopefully that clears the air for everyone asking me about why my husband isn't helping me. He simply just told me I've never done anything for him, so he's not going to do anything for me. Which is understandable. I'm not mad at him at all. I'm not telling him where I'm going because if there's a reward out there for my capture, I know he will turn me in.
Women got what they wanted. Feminism. Today they are more miserable than ever before. Feminism freed men from the women. So just go away and date women.
Something that genuinely scares me is women financially depending on a man. I just wasn't raised that way. I was raised to be a boss freaking bitch. And I don't think women realize how dangerous it is to financially depend on a man. If you have nothing of your own, you're going to be less likely to leave if something bad happens. They cheat on you, they become abusive. You think you know the person that you're with, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes that person can change. You don't know what's going to happen a year from now, 5 years from now, even tomorrow. You don't know. Somebody can change with a flip of a switch. Then what? You probably don't want to leave because you have nothing. You have nothing to your name. That is so freaking dangerous. We need to stop financially relying on men. We need to make our own money. You need to always be prepared to leave if something bad happens. I don't care what anyone says. Of course, it's nice to have a man that has money, but it's also nice to have your own money. I don't get why there are women out there that don't have anything for themselves and they're only depending on their partner. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy to me. I just don't get it.
This is why a prenup is essential when you get married. My prenup states I will be taken care of financially and get half. But yes, I still work for fun and put all my money away.
Guys, women are 90% more likely to retire in poverty than men. Women are 5 times more likely to be stuck in a paycheck to paycheck cycle than men. Now, this is designed that way. We live in a patriarchy where women take time off in their career to raise their children. No one is paying into their pension, okay? On top of that, there's the gender pay gap that still exists. There's the pink tax. All these things are set up for you not to financially succeed. That is why it's important to get your financial shit together. You will be a part of that statistic if you don't learn how to invest your money. You will be a part of that statistic if you don't know how to manage your money, if you don't know how to stop overspending. Now, don't get it twisted. This isn't your fault. Nothing is your fault, okay? If you have a spending problem, that's not your fault. Marketing, clothes, makeup, it's all directed towards women. If you don't know how to invest, that's not your fault either, because it's literally set up so that you don't know that. But does that mean that you just accept it and you don't even try? No. You need to invest in your financial education. I'm sorry, you have to. We don't get taught this in school. If your parents didn't teach you, you don't know. Try your best to learn on your own. Eventually, all financially successful people have had to invest in themselves in some way. They've had to invest time and money into their education to get to where they are. You are no exception. Ever since I read those horrible statistics in the investment firm, I've been on a mission to personally change that. With every single woman that comes into my coaching business, that buys a course, I'm on a mission to change that statistic. I want to help you. I want to help you learn. I want to help you earn. I want to help you put your paycheck to work. Head to my bio, have a look around. There's something that fits everybody's budget, but you got to start somewhere.
I make more than my husband. But in Social Security his retirement allowance is 2 times more than mine. Let that sink in. These videos reveal a deeper cultural shift happening in modern dating and marriage. Men are increasingly focused on protecting their finances, peace, and emotional energy, while women are prioritizing independence, equity, and emotional support over traditional provider roles. The result is growing frustration on both sides, with many relationships collapsing under unmet expectations, resentment, and lack of communication. Whether people agree or disagree with these perspectives, one thing is clear: modern relationships now demand far more than financial support alone. Respect, reciprocity, emotional maturity, and shared responsibility have become the new battlegrounds between men and women today. You're watching Modern Dating Logic, where we keep it real, not emotional. If you see the pattern, you already know what to do.